What do you remember hating the most being a child? People making fun of me, grown up included. This is a big one for me too. It seems like the previous generation of adults loved to tease and make fun of us. I think maybe they thought we would grow up with thick skin. It doesn't work. Along that same vein, when adults would tickle and wrestle with me until I felt scared and overwhelmed was probably my most hated thing about being a kid. I had an uncle that would pinch my nose so hard it would make my eyes water. I hated it so much. Some adults are so immature. Edit. I'm glad we could talk about this issue. I had no idea so many people shared my anxiety about being pinched and tickled. Let's do better for our kids. I had a father who would make fun of anything I was remotely interested in or passionate about. He also used those things to create punishments. i.e., if I let my dad know I enjoyed something, it would be first on his list to threaten to take away whenever he got mad. Thanks, Dad. Then when they're old they act surprised you never share anything with them. Yeah. Totally don't know where I learned that from. Gosh. Huge surprise, never saw it coming. When you went to a family friend's house and you were playing with their children and then your parents said it's time to go, so you'd go and stand by them, but then the adults would remain talking for another half an hour, but you couldn't go play with the kids because you were about to go, so you had to listen to adult talk whilst staring at the coffee table. Edit. Wow, thanks for the replies. It's good/sad to see I wasn't the only one who had to endure this violation of human rights as a child. A lot of people have asked if I'm from the Midwest or Latino, and the answer's no, I'm Australian. But it's very common here. I remember the absolute worst one was when I stayed overnight at my friend's house for his birthday and we were watching this new Pokemon series he had gotten for his birthday. Then my mum came and picked me up half an hour early and I had to sit in my friend's sister's room listening to mine and his mum talk about their childhood and ghost stories for an hour while my friend watched Pokemon in the living room. Worse when you do end up sneaking out under them to go play again. When they spot you, they tell you to come back, and they still aren't ready or your siblings is doing this when we are ready to go. And then as soon as they are ready to leave, it's I've been waiting for half an hour. If any scenario ever happens like this to me as a kid, it would be at my grandparents'. The waiting is not 30 minutes. It's like an hour. I never really got to play on the playground with kids. I was either too shy or I was at the playground with my brothers. False accusations, but when you try to defend yourself you get told to shut up, or even worse, you get punished further. I'm an adult and you are a child. How could I be wrong at all? I remember this so much. So frustrating. It's like that scene from Matilda where Danny DeVito is berating her. I'm big, you're small. I'm right, you're wrong. The lack of freedom. I wasn't allowed to do a lot of things that I wanted to. I relate to this. But my lack of freedom wasn't because my parents had a lot of strict rules or anything. It was just that we lived in the middle of buttfuck nowhere and my mom hated driving, so I felt guilty asking her to take me places. It was exactly the same for me. Genuinely think it really screwed with my mental health, feeling so guilty all the time for asking for lifts. It was my parents' choice to move to the countryside and they ignored me when I begged them to move to a town or at least someplace with a bus stop. The cruelty of other kids. +1 for that, mate. Sorry you experienced it as well. It got better for me. Hopefully for you too. One of the craziest realizations I had was when I talked to my friend's mom about the bullying I was going through. She told me that she grew up with the parents of every single child who was saying and doing mean things to me. She said that their parents were never bright in school. They were lazy and just not good people in general. She said it wasn't surprising to her that their kids grew up to be little versions of their parents. She said they were just a product of their environment. Ever since she told me that, I felt sad for them every time they bullied me. Sad that their parents never provided them with the opportunity to be better. Edit. I asked his mom what happened to the nice people from her class, and she just said they went to college, got really good jobs, and moved far away from our shitty little town. I wasn't bullied in any way that would make for an interesting story, but I was getting plenty _ at home from my stepfather, so when I got the normal cruelties of children in school I was just so emotionally frazzled that I reacted to it worse than I should have. And I held a grudge against those kids for quite a while in life until it hit me one day that these kids were behaving as they were because they probably were getting fucked up at home somehow too. They just reacted to the pain by lashing out at others. I felt like an ass. To be honest, I'd had this angry spot in my heart for them for so long. Yet we were probably so damn similar. But for the tiniest twist of fate we could have been great friends. What a damn waste. Going to bed when other kids are still playing outside. Oh my god. This sucks so much. I would have to eat dinner and go to bed while my friends were still playing video games. At 11 years my bedtime was 7:30. It sucked the most when there was a TV program that you wanted to watch that was on till late. I remember so many times asking my friends at recess to tell me what happened because it was on past my bedtime. Fuck, my bedtime was 8 until sophomore or freshman year of high school. Being 4'3" with the voice of a tuba. This made my day. Being talked down to, or people laughing at me when I was telling them something serious. That phrase, "We are not laughing at you. We are laughing with you." But I wasn't fucking laughing at all. Like when people do some dumbass prank on you and you get angry and they are like, "Chill dude. It's just for fun." Yeah. But it wasn't fun at all, you dipshit. That my feelings didn't matter. If I was feeling anything other than happy, I had to get over it. If I was crying, I was ordered to stop or get something worth crying over. I hate as an adult now seeing other adults ask a kid what is wrong. Kid opens up and then the kid gets made fun of for it being a stupid reason. Then poor kid gets drilled about how they don't know what a hard life is. They're dramatic, etc. I hate that shit. Oh, you have an important test? Just wait until you're an adult and you're faced with real problems. UMN. Not doing well on a test can lead to real consequences. Being held back. Being punished at home. As it turns out, I love being an adult and being free of tests, exams, homework, coursework, revision and everything else to do with school. I still have nightmares from time to time where I suddenly realize I have an exam I haven't studied for. And waking up and realizing those days are over is always a huge relief. The never-ending lectures about how all this work needs to be done and that our futures are resting on it was so damn stressful. Screw those never-ending tests. In the adult world you get paid to work, and you, hopefully, won't deal with bullying, such as being labeled gay for the crime of wearing a shirt from the Gap. Living in a house with just one bathroom and so many people, seemed like someone was always using the toilet or the shower when others needed use of the room. That's why you just go use whatever is available at the same time. I did this. I was the only girl in my siblings. We seemed to have a trust in each other not to peek when one of us was showering. To this day, all but my dad still leaves the door unlocked when we shower, just so anyone who needs to wash their hands or use the mirror can. For me, always just made sure my eyes was open and ready to spray anyone who decided to open the curtains of the bathtub or glass door to the shower box. I think all the kids did this. I remember when my brothers as a kid, when my mom woke us all up to go pee in the middle of the night. 2 of my brothers just peed at the same time in the toilet. Saves a flush anyways, and they were both boys. I'm surprised you weren't the one that locked the door considering you're the only girl. I get used to it. I've always been a quite observant person. So I just watch, and if it seems careful and okay to do, then I will do it. The only time I lock the door is to my bedroom, after I shower or am changing. Locking the door any other time to my bedroom I get questioned why I'm doing that. So from being questioned so much and not wanting to be questioned as my family questions me on nearly everything I do. As I kid, I just did what they said or allow. I never can win in any arguments with my family, even if I'm right. My youngest brother found a way to accidentally break into my bedroom door with his butt force when I had it locked after showering as a kid, but thankfully I was all dressed up. I just didn't want to open the door for him to let him bother me like a typical little brother would do. He always opened my locked door that way after that. It did let me figure out a way to not let him to do it once. Then my door was finally changed. My dad changed all the bedroom doors. Such a relief. In case anyone ever wondered, I did tell my mom my brother did that, and not much was really said to him. She just lets him do it. My mom lets my youngest brother do whatever he wants. Spoiled kid. My youngest brother would have been the only one who would want to look at me naked. My older brothers knew what's right and wrong. What is butt force? He farted on it and opened. I don't know if hate is really the right word, but when I was really little, I was terrified of my dad. My earliest memories of him are being woken up in the middle of the night when he got home, smacked around a bit, and sent off to bed again without so much as an explanation. "You know what you did?" he would say. But of course I didn't, because why would I ask if I already knew? I put a ton of work into trying to keep him happy and not pissing him off, but it didn't always work. I say hate might be the wrong word, because I didn't really know better back then. I didn't start hating him until I met kids and parents that had better relationships, which wasn't until high school. Until then, that was just how it was, and I didn't really question it.